So, have you read Gary Fish's book?
Mm-mm.
Next to the Jim Cook and then Sierra Nevada.
Oh yeah,
God, I forget his name. I always forget his name. Anyway, his book is fantastic. And then Dogfish Head guy, he wrote a book too.
Oh, he's cool. I like that guy.
Yep, that one was fun.
Inspired by the adventures of our nurses, therapists, and techs, A Beer with Atlas is the only healthcare traveling, craft beer drinking podcast. Each week, we'll open a few beers, talk about the brewery and the style of beer, and then dive into some research curated specifically for each episode. In the end, we hope each one sounds like a conversation you'd have with your friends while enjoying a few cold ones.
Welcome to another episode of A Beer with Atlas. I'm Rich.
I'm Brian.
I'm Dolan.
Week 3 of Mainstream. Hey, week 3, is that right? We're into the third week. Into Oregon. Have we done this brewery, Deschutes Brewing?
We've had one of their beers before, but it was not like a dedicated episode.
It was a bonus beer or something along the way?
I think so. We had a Christmas beer of theirs, which was I think it was like Cherry's Jubilee or Jubile Ale, because they have a Christmas beer that's called Jubile Ale.
Okay.
And it was a barrel-aged Christmas beer with cherries.
I think I remember this.
But I don't remember what year.
And I believe it was like a bonus beer or whatever.
All I know is it's hard to remember now. We've got so many episodes. And I'm just like, I had to ask Dolan, like, what have we done?
We are quickly approaching 250 episodes.
We're getting there.
We are getting really, really close.
If this isn't, no, it won't be. Yeah, we'll be close.
We'll be a handful away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
just a couple.
Somewhere in June, I think.
Deschutes Brewing is located in Bend, Oregon. They also have a second location in Portland, Oregon. And the beer today, the one you can get virtually everywhere, is called Fresh Squeezed IPA from Deschutes.
That's right. You guys take a slug of that while I do a little reading here. When I first typed it into the computer machine, the Google, it pulled up this. Places you can buy them.
Okay.
This is like the first thing. Not even their website, but like where to purchase this beer.
Yeah.
It shows up first one, Drizzly.
Yes.
Which is, one of those deals.
Yeah.
Total Wine.
Yep.
The third choice, which I don't know, maybe it's local, Charlie's on Pryor.
Oh, I don't know.
Some mom and pop that paid to get that up there. I don't know, but
is it just me, or did Total Wine just come out of nowhere? And then all of a sudden they have locations
out of that
everywhere.
pandemic. It was like, boom, here we are.
Mm-hmm.
Target.
Yeah.
Website called Beer Menus, where to buy near me. Whole Foods, Melon Rose, Twin Liquors, Argonaut Wine and Liquor, Good Eggs, and Hy-Vee. Those were the choices before I got to the actual website. So I don't know if that means we're selling it. That means to me you can get it pretty much anywhere.
I remember very early on. This has been many, many years ago, before Atlas was born. Quite honestly, Seitner and I went over to Whole Foods. And we worked for the other company back then. And that was one of the few places you could get craft beer at the time, right? Before Bricks and before places like that. That was one of the few places you can get it. And I remember him buying Deschutes beers there.
Oh, R.I.P. Bricks. I used to work there.
Yep.
Man, what a spot. Okay, I went to the Beer Connoisseur. You ever heard of that? Mm-hmm. So maybe 10 years ago, they had what was it? Not bi-monthly. So what's it every other month? What's the term for that? I don't know. Every second month, they would send out a magazine.
That'd be bi-monthly, right?
Is it?
Every other month.
Every other month?
Yeah, we'll just use that term. Every other month.
Bi-monthly is twice
a month. That's So I had a subscription to this magazine.
Okay.
And it was phenomenal. Had great pictures. It had stories. You learn about the brewers. You learn about styles of beer. It had homebrew stuff, had ratings in the back. It was awesome. Now it exists only in the online sphere. But I like tangible stuff. And it was, I always look forward to getting the magazine, because a lot of it was like, oh, I wish I could have that beer, but I'll never get it. You know, one of those things.
Yeah.
So on their website, this beer gets an 83 rating out of 100.
Okay.
Aroma, 22 out of 24.
Yeah.
Do we feel like that's accurate? I think it is.
It's it's hop smelling, but then at the
There's
same
a little
time,
citrusy
it's
something too. Yeah.
You okay there?
Just kidding.
I was like, oh, I thought he snorted it in there. Flavor, 33 out of 40. Appearance, 5 out of 6. So Rich is pouring it into his glass right now. It's a nice kind of cloudy pour right now. It's looking pretty golden in color. And it clears up pretty nice.
Yeah, it does.
Mouthfeel, 8 out of 10.
Okay.
And overall impression, 17 out of 20. So all those things together, to me, say this is pretty good drinking beer.
Heck yeah.
This is the first beer that wasn't like a piney, old school West Coast IPA that I can physically remember drinking. I remember drinking this and thinking,
like,
what
whoa.
is this? This
Yep.
is something different. And it kind of like kicked off my IPA obsession, and here we are 12 years later. 6.4% on the ABVs, and
Yep.
there's 60 IBUs. So we're kind of like halfway to a West Coast or a super hop bomb, you know? I mean, it's 30, 40 more than what we're getting in our hazies, but
Right.
that's part of the appeal of this beer, I think. The malts are pale and crystal and Munich, and the hops, Citra, Mosaic, and Nugget.
Nugget.
Which are kind of old school
Yeah.
hops. You can buy this in a case of bottles, so 24 bottles. You can get this in 6 and 12 packs and cans and bottles, draft, and they also sell them in 19.2 ounce cans. So
Wow.
kind of a stovepipe style or whatever.
Okay.
2 different variety packs you can get these in. And that's where I got these.
Okay.
I went to our local Hy-Vee owned big beer spot and I found it. Currently they have this beer, fresh squeezed. Then they have the juicy one that they have. Then they had a beer that was like a collaboration with the hop grower that they use out there in Oregon. And then they had another beer called Modern Revival, which was a West Coast IPA. So like almost 100 IBUs on that beer.
Wow.
And that was the reason I pulled the trigger on that pack, because I was like, ooh, I want to try that.
I went back in your beer journey a little bit here just to see the
okay.
first time you checked it in.
Yeah,
June 3rd, 2014.
that's pretty early.
And your note was, if tonight's storms continue like this, I want a good beer to last.
Oh, dang!
So
Look
must
at
have
me.
been
Must have
storming
been a
a little
thunderstormy
bit.
night. Yeah.
You checked again 3 days later. You checked it in again, and you said burger with ham. So you survived. Clearly.
Yeah, I did.
Burger with ham, bacon, and egg too.
Yeah, that was me
Alright.
cooking at home,
There
grilling.
you go.
Oh yeah.
And another July, you checked it in again. Then 2015, but you haven't checked it in since 2015.
Yeah.
So there you go.
This is what was available back then.
I guess.
You know?
Yeah.
They have, I don't know, if they're known for hops, kind of, I guess.
Yeah.
They have a lot of hoppy beers. So I wrote them down because they're kind of one of those breweries that was one of the first ones that came to Nebraska. That was craft.
Yep.
And they had rotation. They had different IPAs. So currently what they have is a fresh haze, which is in this kind of same packaging design, except it's orange on the label. That's 6.5. They have one called Squeezy Rider, which is their West Coast IPA at 7%. They have Royal Fresh Imperial IPA,
Whoa.
9%.
Whoa.
Hazetron Imperial Hazy, so it's an 8%er.
I've actually had that one before.
That one's good.
It is good.
This one also is really good. Tropical Fresh.
Oh.
So that's got some mango and that sort. I think there might be uzu in there or whatever, how you say that. 6.5%. Farmstead Fresh Mango IPA they make, 6.4%. Mirror Pond Pale Ale, one of the standard pale ales around. That's one of their beers. And then the other thing that they have, and we didn't do it last year because I don't know if it was to the market yet or not, but they have Black Butte Porter as an NA beer now available too.
Really?
So they kind of got into the game, and they have recently done a redesign on some of their stuff.
Yep.
So like the Black Butte Porter, very reminiscent of the New Belgium we talked about, kind of that classic, clean style.
Yep.
And that's what that looks like.
Black Butte Porter's been around for a while too. So for
I'm
them to
assuming
do
it was one of their main.
it was one of the
beers.
for them to do an NA of that, that's interesting.
And then the other one that they have, we talked about it maybe a couple weeks ago, the Dank 7. They have one called the Symphonic Chronic. 60 IBUs, 9%, 19.2 ounce cans, year round. They didn't have it at the store, or I would have purchased that for us today. And And then let's see a couple other things they do. They make. You ever heard the term Crispy Boy?
Yep.
Well, they have a beer called King Crispy. That's a Pilsner.
I love a good crispy boy.
Yep. A lot of people do now. And then Jubilale, which is their holiday beer that we've had before or talked about. Real quick things on their website, merchandise-wise, that I have never seen before. They did have a really cool Fresh Squeeze T-shirt. Looks like that. They had tap handles, short ones, like this big maybe, so 3 inches.
Yeah.
Then they had the traditional big ones. So if you've got a smaller tap situation at home, they have like basically cut in half ones. They had a Pride koozie, and then they had women's flannel shirts.
Oh.
Most places you go, it's a men's flannel you
Dudes,
see.
yeah.
So they have women's flannels on their thing as well. So that's what I have for us just on that.
I'll give you a little background on the brewery.
Okay.
Since we've never done them before, and I was kind of surprised that we hadn't really dove into them a little bit.
I feel like they're one of the ones that's kind of like Sierra Nevada, Boulevard, maybe Founders, like started maybe in the 80s and have just kind of been around and adapted and became big.
Been around forever.
Yeah.
Boulevard, Firestone Walker, like those types, yeah. Founded in 1988 by Gary Fish. He opened a small brew pub in downtown Bend, Oregon, and named it after the iconic waterway flowing through the town, the Deschutes River.
It's also, I think, Deschutes County.
Is that really the county?
I'm pretty
name?
sure, yeah. Bend, Oregon, because it comes up on the background check sometimes.
Here's fun. Fun little bit of when they first opened. They only sold 310 barrels in that first year. That's it. It's just 310 barrels. Today, the brewery sells more than 225,000 barrels of beer each year, and Deschutes can be found in 32 states. Now, I think that's a little light. I think it's more than that.
I feel like it might be more states than that now, but 32 is pretty good.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. June 2013, Ernst & Young recognized Gary Fish as the Pacific Northwest Entrepreneur of the Year. So,
that's cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I dug into that a little bit and just read on that myself or whatever. So that was interesting to me. Deschutes Brewery received in 2012 the Sustainability Award from the Central Oregon Environmental Center, and in 2011 was named a Green Power Partner by the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency.
So they're doing New Belgium 10 years earlier.
Well, and that's kind of the lifestyle there, though, right?
That's true. Yeah.
As much as it is in Colorado, it's like that
Oregon,
in Oregon too. Yeah. Starting in 2012, Deschutes Brewing pledged to put 1 billion, and I didn't, this isn't a typo, Deschutes pledged to put 1 billion gallons of water back into the Deschutes River annually through the Deschutes River Conservancy. Conservancy?
There you go.
Right?
Yeah.
After too many Deschutes there, that's a hard word to say.
Yeah.
Water leasing program, the program's largest donation ever. So they put 1 billion gallons of water back into the river every single year.
I don't even know how that works.
How?
Where are they
is
getting
that
it from? They used it and then they put it back? I don't understand.
I don't understand. Don't know.
Science.
Science?
Magnets, how do they work? How does this work? I don't know.
Magnets.
I don't know.
Okay, so brewing in Oregon. So we talked about Colorado last week, right?
Yeah.
And we've talked about Colorado before. Let's dig into brewing in Oregon just a little bit.
I mean, they were one of the states we talked about recently with, the bike, with the New Belgium episode.
Yep.
Bikes and beer seem to go together.
Over 200 breweries in the state right now, and I think that's a little light as well. I think it's more. I think it's
probably
pushing 300 at this point.
Dang.
The first commercial brewery was called Liberty Brewing.
Okay.
It opened in 1852. 1852.
Dang, that's before it was a state.
Right?
Like a long time.
Yeah. Man, that beer's good. 1862, German immigrant Henry Weinhard purchased Liberty Brewing and expanded its operations and changed the name to City Brewing.
Okay.
So 10 years later, he bought it, changed the name. 1914, 5 years before national prohibition was established, the voters of Oregon approved a statewide ban on the manufacture, sale, or advertisement of intoxicating liquors.
Boo!
5 years before. Man, that would have been a tough time to live.
I'm glad we're here now.
Right? 1933, though. 1933, Oregon ratifies the 21st Amendment, ending prohibition in the state.
Oh, okay, good.
So from 1914 to 1933, they had no beers.
I guarantee you they had
mean,
one.
they
They had
They
beers,
had beers.
probably, yeah.
There's underground.
Yeah.
Literally underground.
Yeah.
Bootlegging.
Yeah.
I would have been a bootlegger, I think. I would have figured that away.
I would have just been buying it from the bootleggers. I don't have it.
Inherently, I like business. I like to make money. I would have figured out
And
a
I would have
way.
been your customer.
There you
It
go.
would have worked out fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you have worked for me still? I think you probably would have. I could have. I would have hired you. You would have
if I could
drank.
take the
You
heat,
would have
man.
drank
I
a
would have
lot
drank
of
all the
profits,
supplies,
though. That would have
yeah.
been tough. That'd be a tough conversation.
Well, you'd have to give me a few chances, but
Yeah.
I would have done it. Yeah.
Yeah. Just leave your Derringer at home when we have that
That's right.
conversation. 1985, Oregon legalized brew pubs for the first time in the state. So,
And they opened when? 80.
and let's see, they opened in 88.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Oregon.
3 years later.
Yeah, 3 years later. Took them a little bit, but they got there. Oregon hop production. So when you think of hops,
Yeah.
I think of two states, Washington and Oregon. I think
Sure.
those are the two states for whatever reason they grow the best.
Just because of the atmosphere and the
Climate,
rain.
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, hop production in Oregon began in 1867 when William Wells planted his first crop in Buena Vista, Oregon. So I looked this up. It's kind of in the middle of the state.
Oh,
sort of.
okay. So probably on the the east side of the mountains that are there, maybe?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah. This grew through the 20th century when Oregon was dubbed the hop center of the world for its production around Independence, Oregon, in Polk County.
Okay.
So as you're doing your actual work here, if Polk County
Yes.
ever comes up, there you go.
We'll know.
That's the hop center of the world.
I mean, when you think about West Coast IPAs, there's a reason they're called that because that's where the hops came from. So the original C's, like the Cascade, the Citra.
Yep.
I'm drawing a blank on the third one. What's the third C?
Nope.
Citra, Cascade. What's blowing my mind? I
Cos-
can't remember.
No.
Nope.
I don't know. I failed that test. Anyway, that's why they came from there, and
Yep.
probably or not unlike, grapes and other things that are different areas, they have different flavors. That's why those hops, stand out that way.
Right.
So I think it's pretty cool. Oh, Chinook. That's it.
Oh,
Chinook.
there it is.
I think now most states can produce hops. Like there's a hop farm in Nebraska,
Yeah.
right? And we've seen different states or different breweries make beers with all their ingredients from their states.
Yep.
But it's kind of cool to be from the state that is like, all right, well, here's all the hops. Here, you want these? Yeah,
Right.
Yes, you do.
Well, to be fair, every state produces wine grapes.
That's
Now,
true. Makes different kinds of wine.
Exactly, yeah.
Everything we have here is sweet and
So you can give it a shot,
Yeah.
right? I mean, because of our climate, it's going to be a little bit different.
yeah, that's true.
1893, Oregon State University began planting and experimenting with hops. Dr. Alfred Hanold, Hanold influenced modern and popular hop varieties through his work with those food studies. So thank you,
So
Doctor.
like a botanist was out there tinkering with hops. I like it.
That's interesting. Like, how does he even run across that? Like, how does he even decide? Like, I'm going to decide to do that.
I feel that way about a lot of things.
Yeah. Like how did you come up with that?
Milk.
Yeah.
Right?
Commercial milk.
Yeah.
Who decided that's a good idea?
Oh, that baby cow's drinking it.
Maybe I'll get down
We
there.
should drink it.
Give it a shot. Warm.
And
Yum.
then we should pasteurize it to make sure that we don't get sick.
Yeah,
from it.
maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe later.
Yeah.
But don't pasteurize our beers.
No.
Don't do that.
No. Finally, Oregon remains the second largest hop producing state in the United States.
Second?
Second.
So probably to
Washington,
Washington.
probably.
I know Utah and Idaho are now, because you'll see like Idaho 7 on some
Yeah.
labels on IPAs.
Yep.
So they're, it's kind of changing a little bit, but yeah, that makes more sense to me.
So there you go. There's a little bit into not only Deschutes, but then the state which where they're located, Oregon.
Well, I went someplace totally unexpected, I think. And it was pretty cool.
Shoots and ladders. The
Close.
Oh, that's a good guess.
I was looking at the hops, the list, and I was like, okay, mosaic. We see that a lot. And it's in a lot of IPAs that were old school IPAs. That people still use it.
Still one of my favorites, probably.
And I wanted to do some research on mosaic, but not the hop.
Okay. The band.
The artwork.
The art week. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
See, I thought
we're
there was some
going-
like obscure like 70s band called
No,
Mosaic.
no.
And
We're
then,
going ancient history here.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
We're going to learn about mosaics. They first appeared in Mesopotamia in the 3rd millennium BC.
It's like the cradle of
People, of
humanity.
Yes, that's where they came from.
Get out.
So a mosaic is a design or a picture, something that's either, like a design or an image that you're creating made out of small things. Glass, stone, seashells, like clay tiles, that sort of stuff, right? They're called tessera. Those little pieces, individual pieces, are called tesseras.
Tesseras.
And you form them together to make a pattern or a composition, and that's basically what mosaic is. You can also make them man-made, so like tiles or whatever, or else you can use natural things that you find and create them. Ancient Greeks, they were the first ones to make this artwork available and, I guess, cheap enough for the average person to have it, because they started putting it on the floor.
Oh, okay.
So they would make floor tiles. And you'll see this still in the news today. They'd be like, oh, this temple was unearthed, or this house, and there's a beautiful mosaic on there. Like, even today, you'll see these still. So thousands of years ago. Or now we're getting to the hundreds. So, 4th century, the ancient Greeks introduced a little different color scheme to the thing. Green and red pebbles were used for the first time. They were very earth-tony before that, and kind of continued to be to this day. That's kind of the staple of them. Almost washed out colors. They're not generally bright and like tropical. You wouldn't see that sort of color palette for these. Here's some of the places that they were pretty prominent, and we have like archaeological history that they were there. North Africa and or Egypt, because some people forget Egypt is in North Africa. Syria, Persia, ancient Americas, so we're talking middle and south and north. North America, for sure, they found that too. So that was, I thought, pretty interesting, because I never really heard of that. Marble tiles. People use those a lot because it's durable, so people will walk on them.
Right,
If you're doing the floor. In Italy, big time, like in churches and stuff, you'll see a lot of those. In Pompeii, everybody's heard of this, right?
Yeah.
So this is one of the first places they found one used on the wall as an actual art piece. And it's called the Alexander Mosaic. And if you go online, you can see pretty cool pictures of it. It was found in this place called the House of Fawn, which was like not necessarily a church, but like a meeting hall.
Okay.
And it was a depiction of the Battle of Isis. And it was it was like a war between Alexander the Great, everybody's maybe heard of him, and this guy named Darius III, who was from Persia. So Alexander fights him off, and they win.
Because he was the great. I mean,
He was the great. He wasn't the good. He was the great. And because they won, they're like, you know what? Let's put it on the wall.
You're going to memorialize that. Yeah.
Like here's our movie. We made this mosaic tile design, and because of the way the volcanoes erupted and the ash came through and basically turned everything into concrete that was underneath it, it was preserved perfectly. So it's like as it was, the day they installed it, which is pretty cool. Then things change in the Renaissance, 15th to 16th century.
Okay.
So we're talking the time of the Ninja Turtles, Da Vinci, Michelangelo, right? This is where Raphael. This is the kind of art history that I studied in college. This was my area, my jam, if you will.
Ninja Turtles.
Ninja Turtles. They decide, you know what? Mosaics, I mean, they're cool. They take a long time. We're going to paint frescoes instead. Big chunky oil paintings, and we're going to do that. That's kind of how we're going to adorn our houses and our churches and all that sort of stuff. And they kind of move away from mosaics because they're so time consuming. And a mosaic, probably like a fresco, you have to be able to look at it far away. Right. Which is, I still can't believe people can do this. Like to be up close and have a little piece of ground, like a seashell. Yeah. And put it here and then zoom out and be like, oh, that's a person's face that I recognize. It's unbelievable to me. Yeah. I love people that can do art because I can't do it. So 15th, 16th, 17th century, it kind of goes away. Then they come back a little bit during this thing called the Age of Enlightenment. So we're talking 1600s to 1700s. They decide, let's bring them back, but let's make them more realistic. Because they kind of were abstract. They weren't that detailed. And then people were like, let's do better. So they bring them back, and they kind of get popular again. Best place to see them in United States. If you want to go see some early ones, like where are these examples?
Really?
The New York City subways.
Okay.
So when they built those subway tunnels, they adorned those walls with these mosaics, and a lot of them are still there. If you look, past the Broadway show posters on the wall or whatever, they're still, even if it just says, whatever stop you're at with an arrow, like that's 130 years old.
Broadway or 57th Street or whatever.
They found these in Aztec temples in the 1400s. They found them before that in like the 800s in some of the other Central American temples. So it's an art style that's moved across the world. And basically, they say anybody can do it.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I mean, we could make one. It might not be great, but we could technically make a mosaic. It might not have to look like anything when you took the big picture.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It could be a random thing.
Yeah.
But if we had the materials, we all could make one right now.
Sure.
Well, there's mosaic generators now online. So one of the coolest ones that
Cheating.
yeah, it is, but it is pretty cool still because what was it? It was, I don't remember what grade of elementary school it was, but they took the school photo of everybody in the district. So it wasn't just our school, our elementary school. It was all like 4 or 5 of them. And then they made a huge mosaic of the it's like the school district logo in Wyoming.
Oh, that's cool.
And it was cool. And they hung it up in our gym or whatever. And it was fun for us because we were like trying to find where we are or whatever.
Yeah.
Where's the Dolan face in the...
in the whole mosaic.
I feel like if you go to a small town and you go down to the downtown, you're either going to see a painting of the downtown or you're going to see like a mosaic of some sort, right? Like that just seems to be a pretty standard thing. The other thing I did was I found some of this information on a website, and I actually clicked into the website more about what they do and what they are. And the website I found was called mosaicnatural.com. And it's a company, it looked like it was in New York City, and they make mosaics. So if you wanted to buy one, they make it and then they ship it to you. So if you want a specific floor design in your nice house, you can order it from a catalog or on their web store. Or if you want a custom one, they can do that sort of thing.
Dude, imagine a mosaic roof. So like... You're flying over it, and you just see, like, I don't know, like a big middle finger.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's exactly what you're doing. You could probably do that.
Yes.
So
why do we both think the same thing at the same time?
I don't know.
You guys have been together too long, I think. This place was started as an actual store in Syria.
Okay.
And then there was this kind of thing called a war broke out. And they had to close it down. And the guy that was running it, Fayez Hamadi, did like not immigrant status because he's a refugee. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
So he tries to get to the United States because like their shit's going down.
Right.
And he does. He gets here in 2013 and creates this website and creates this store. And you can go on there, and which I did, and you can check out all the different ones. So they have your kind of standard reproductions of the Mona Lisa. If you want, maybe you've got a, kind of a old, I don't want to say old school, but more classic design in your house, let's say, and like you got a kitchen and you want a backsplash. Hey, we can make the Mona Lisa as a mosaic tile feature for your house. That one's $2,500.
Okay.
But if it's the focal point and whatever, like, there you go. Some artisan is making this by hand in this place. The cheapest one I saw was $225. And it was two ducks.
Okay.
So they got that. They had Van Gogh, Starry Night. You know that picture?
That's interesting.
$1,900.
Wow.
They make mosaic floor pieces that look like rugs, if that makes sense.
That would be cool. Yeah.
They do those.
Yep.
They had a lot of religious ones, so a lot of like Jesus face pictures.
Virgin
and they had,
Mary. And,
all those things.
Yeah, absolutely.
They had a lot of peacocks for some reason.
Very colorful, sure.
I think they're colorful. They're kind of thought as royal birds, you know. Plus, it's just kind of that classic motif that you see.
Yeah.
A lot of like still lifes, what you think of like the fruit bowl. They had those. They had flower designs. They had fleur-de-lis. They had. It's very like, I don't know, hoity-toity-ish.
Sure.
I guess like it's a style design that's not. It's not for me, but it's for somebody because this place is still out there.
Let me ask, because your wife does this, right? I mean, your wife does this for. You got some floaties in there.
A lot of floaties, man.
Congratulations.
Yeah. That's hops for you.
Your wife does this for a living, right? She's a designer.
Well, she's a interior designer.
Correct. Yep. You don't live in the same house for the rest of your life, right? I mean,
Usually not, no.
Right, and so there's resale value there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you could do that. So let's say I wanted to do this at my house now,
Sure.
Which I will probably only live in for another 8 to 10 years, probably. And I want to do like the Atlas guy, right, or whatever.
Yeah.
Does that hurt resale value?
I mean, that's a good question. I think it would be yes,
right,
but not by much. I mean, because
if you're specific like that,
right? Because I mean, even if they went in and did an inspection on the house, they're not inspecting that.
I think it's more about buyers would be like,
or,
how hard will it be to replace it?
Yeah, or what can I put over it, or what is it going to cost to remove it, or anything like that. But
in my prior life, when I worked at State Farm, we would have claims with motorcycles, right?
Okay.
And dudes would put chrome on everything, their whole, whatever.
Yeah.
And we'd have to explain to them, that doesn't change the value of your motorcycle. That's just your personal preference, right? So you're not getting more money because you spent $5,000 on all these extras.
Right.
It's still the same machine that we're paying for. We're not paying for all the choices you made to it.
Yep.
Right. And I think that goes along with interior design too, because like one of the houses that we moved into had a big football mural where they had like all their, I don't know, memoriam stuff for, you remember what, I think there were Seahawks bands.
Weird.
So they had like all of this stuff, and then they had the wall painted, and it was like a big Seahawk with a football and whatever. But like they didn't devalue the home at all. We just went, we're gonna paint over that.
Yeah.
Or
unless Brian Bosworth's in there, then you better leave it.
Right.
Then you better leave it.
Yeah, no, we painted it white.
Oh, I thought you were going with the Packers mural.
No, I would not. That would not happen in my house.
She won't let you
I would
do
have
it.
to buy like a whole separate house just for myself.
Just some drywall pieces. And
Right.
there you go.
Be able to move it with you, right?
Yeah. Well, and that's the other thing you could do, right? I wonder if you could do that with the mosaics that they sell.
I'm sure you could get it framed and hang it like an art piece. I'm sure you could do that. But a lot of these were like installations, like permanent features.
Gluing it to the wall kind of thing is your backsplash or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The ones I thought were really cool, they had a lot of them like that look like globes or compasses, kind of like I'm trying to see if I can find a picture. You know, like the Atlas feature of the guy that when it's not, it's like that one above your head, the metal. Looking like it's not full.
Yeah, the
they had a lot of
frame.
designs like that.
Oh, okay.
But they were like big. Like when you have an entryway in your room or whatever, you sometimes you go into a building that has like a dome, right? They have a circle on the floor.
Yeah.
They had a lot of those. And a lot of the ones that looked the coolest to me were the ones that looked like rugs. Just cool designs. It was abstract stuff.
Yeah.
Like there was kind of something for everybody in there, but it was a website I didn't think I'd ever, I just found it because of the research and about this dude from Syria that created this. Now it's a big family business, and he employs a lot of folks, and I don't know. It all came from Mosaic Hops.
We're currently watching Succession. Are you watching this show? This is the show when you know you have too much money and you don't know what to do with it. This is what you do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy, I know, the Syrian guy that can make us a mosaic out of our family, and we put it in our entryway.
Sure, yeah.
Whatever, yeah.
Yeah.
That's When you have more money, then you know what to do
That's
with.
right. It's a good problem to have.
Yeah. So I went a completely different route.
I'm guessing so, yeah.
Oh my gosh. It couldn't be any more different.
Okay.
This beer right here, so the Deschutes Fresh Squeeze IPA, is Mike Combs, our Director of Business Development. This is his lawn mowing beer.
Oh, okay.
And I know that's pretty common for a lot of guys out there.
Yeah.
If they're not traditional lager drinkers, that type of thing, this is a lawn mowing beer for them.
Okay.
So you're going to talk about Mike Combs' lawn mosaics.
Yeah, he's an artiste.
About he has the roller that goes on his mower, and then he can roller
cool.
designs into. No, that is not what it is.
I'll say I
That
wouldn't
is
doubt
not
it with
what
him.
It is. And I brought him up before. My wife's cousin's husband.
Yes.
Has one of those for his lawn.
Oh my gosh.
And he rolls designs into his lawn, into his backyard, or whatever. Dude's got way too much time on his hands.
I was gonna say,
quite honestly, he works 2 jobs. Dude works really hard,
But he
man,
loves doing that, huh?
He loves his yard work, man. He
I get it.
loves
There's
mowing.
People like that. My dad, oh my gosh. His favorite thing was it'd be hot as hell. He'd be sitting on that rider. Now, he built a cooler attachment, and he had it right there. And he'd have his headphones on.
Important.
He'd be, Dark Side of the Moon as he's mowing all the yards. Oh, my God. He loved it. He loved mowing.
So we're going to talk about not only lawn mowing beers.
Okay.
We're going to talk about lawn mowers.
Oh, all right.
Right. Okay.
Mowers. So I thought, if you need a new lawnmower,
Yeah.
what's the best lawnmower you can get right now?
God.
So as of 2023,
Are we talking me and Dolan's yards, or are we talking a big yard?
push mowers.
Okay.
Talking push mowers.
I think
I love my Honda. I'm going to tell you that right now. But
think
I
I
also
know
had a
where
John
you're gonna-
Deere in the day.
I know where you're going to go with this. So.
Okay. Electric?
Well, no,
they show up
maybe.
on the
yeah,
list.
They
That's-
do.
They do?
Yeah. I was thinking the one, and there was a big marketing campaign done. Was it during 2020? Was it 2019? 2021 maybe? In that time frame, they marketed this lawnmower that was a push lawnmower. Well, it was a self-propelled lawnmower, and it was flexible. So you would stand on the back of it. So there's a little platform to stand on. Okay, so it's like a riding self-propelled thing.
One the landscapers would use, or
Right.
the
Yeah.
yard company.
And you start it up and you kind of control it like this. If you got into weird ditches or stuff, it would cut down super tall overgrown weeds and ditches and all this stuff. But then you could flex it or hop off the platform and push it, and it'll self-propel around a tree or up and down a ditch really easily.
I feel like I need this.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure it was a lot of freaking money, but
sure.
but I saw the commercials everywhere, and I don't know why. But they were on TV, they were on YouTube ads. It was everywhere.
Do you remember the sickle bar mower? You remember that one that would cut down?
Oh, hell yeah.
They would advertise on TV
It
all
was
the
like
time,
just a huge machete that went around in a circle and would cut anything. Watch out.
including your feet.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Or
Possibly
somebody
your
else's, yeah.
Achilles tendon.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I mean,
I remember those.
there are warning signs on yard work tools for a reason.
Yeah.
All weed eaters have keep away from crotch.
They do?
Yeah. If you read the warning labels on
Keep away from crotch.
keep away from crotch.
Just for a second there, we were all silent,
Yeah.
making sure that we understood exactly
like,
what he just
what?
said.
Yeah,
Why?
No, if you read all the warning labels on any weed eater, it says keep away from crotch. Why? Probably because somebody did it.
Yeah.
Why? Oh, God.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Anyway.
That's a different story.
Not only did somebody do it, but then they sued them.
Yep.
And probably
And
won.
probably won, so now we have
Yep.
to put a sticker on it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Don't chop your crotch off
Yeah.
with this thing.
Okay, so Popular Mechanics 2022 best lawn
right.
mowers. Okay,
I'm ready.
Push mowers. Best value in gas. Okay, so the best value for a gas mower is the Murray MNA 152703 gas lawn mower. Retails for around $400
That's not bad.
at the Home Depot. 21-inch cutting width.
Yeah.
So For guys out here, this is like.
Yeah,
No, it makes sense.
I wish I had another beer for this.
Wait a minute,
this
wait a
is
minute.
perfect.
Let's do this. Okay, go get your jorts.
Yeah.
Put your jorts on.
Oh yeah.
I got my purse pants on, my
yeah.
khaki shorts.
Get my headphones.
Your purse pants. Get your headphones on.
Yeah.
Get your favorite lawn mowing T-shirt. Your favorite
Yeah.
lawn mowing beer. Put your New Balance on. Pull your socks up.
Stained green.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Here
Pull
we
up those
go.
white socks.
Only 52 pounds. So this thing's only 52 pounds.
That's pretty light.
That is super light.
It's pretty good.
Wow.
11-inch rear wheel, so it has the big tires on the back. Here's what I thought was really weird about this one. For the best value in gas, it's not self-propelled.
It's not.
No.
Well,
because I'm guessing
would that require more gas to be self-propelled?
Maybe.
probably it does.
It's the best value, is
Okay.
what they said. Is
Okay.
what Popular Mechanics said. Okay? Best electric for mid-size yards. So I don't know what size your yards are.
Who's a fan of electric?
How long
yard tools?
How long does it take you to mow your yard?
Me?
Oh,
Yes.
geez.
Now, not very long.
Less than an hour?
Well, actually, no. My backyard's really big. We're considering maybe getting something that's like you ride on it.
Hell
but then we're
yeah.
thinking about
Oh.
tilling some of it up and just turning it into flower gardens. So we don't
Okay.
have to mow it.
All right.
I don't know. I don't know. My backyard's probably 2,200 square feet, and the front's like
That's pretty good.
way smaller. Yeah.
My
Yeah.
problem with my yard, we are getting in the weeds literally here, but
Okay. In the week, pun intended.
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
my backyard is just a steep ass hill.
Oh.
So like
That's my front yard.
to push mow it is tough. So a lot of times I just weed whack it instead of mowing it
Oh, interesting. Okay.
because it's easier for me to do it than with the mower.
Then struggle with the mower.
But to edge, weed whack, mow, and clean up, yeah, we're talking an hour and a half probably.
Yeah, I'd probably say about 2 hours.
The best electric for mid-sized yards is the Ryobi RY 401-150 cordless lawnmower. So I think it's interesting that the battery-powered are still called the cordless.
That's still
'Cause
Home
it's a
Depot.
pack. Yeah.
Home
That's
Depot,
green.
$750 for this one.
That's not bad.
No, it's not terrible.
Especially if it's electric.
Electric, 21-inch cutting width, 70-minute runtime, which I think that's
Ooh.
fairly
That's pretty
decent.
good, but that wouldn't work for Dolan.
No. Like we divide it up. Like
Well, maybe you have two batteries. Because
If you have two batteries,
I do
that'd
have a
work.
battery powered blower, and that has two.
2 batteries.
Yeah.
Always charging, always using.
Yep.
Exactly. Best budget option, the Craftsman M110. So it's basically the same as the Murray.
Yeah.
So everything's the same. 21-inch cutting deck. It's just a less price, $369.
Craftsman used to be only available at Sears,
Sears.
and that was kind of the pull of it. Like you knew it was something special, but now I think you can get them
Lowe's.
anywhere. Yeah.
Lowe's bought the rights to
Did they?
Craftsman. Yeah. So there's a whole Craftsman section there.
one of the biggest mistakes I made in my early adult life. When we first bought a lawnmower, we just bought one off Facebook Marketplace
Sure.
for like $50. The wheel was kind of coming off.
Oh,
Yep.
But it still worked, right?
yeah.
But it never cut, like, you know how you use the outside wheel to kind
Sure.
of keep your lines straight when you're cutting?
Yeah.
It never cut all the way out to the wheel. So you always had to like overlap it by whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I could not figure it out. And then it wasn't cutting at all really well. So I'm like, blade's dull. I'll probably just go buy a new one.
Yeah.
So I just flipped the lawnmower over, not thinking of it. And I measured the blade and it was a 20-inch blade.
Okay.
So I went and bought a new 20-inch blade and I put it on there. And I'm realizing the lawnmower actually called for like it was like 21 and a half or something weird, 21, something super weird. It was probably just 21.
Yep.
And that's why
Couldn't get all the way out
it
there.
never got
Yeah.
all the way out there. So then eventually I put the right blade on it. And then the wheel fell off. So I had to buy another one. Yeah.
Don't skimp on your lawnmower.
Don't.
Just don't.
They
Just
last
don't.
a long time.
Yeah. They
do.
I think if you take care of them, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bought a self-propelled one on Facebook Marketplace for $120. I still have it 3 years later, and
Nice.
it's great.
Best electric for small yards. So this only has a 50-minute capacity.
Okay.
Okay. The Greenworks 25 223 cordless lawnmower. This is the one that that Lane Andreessen has.
Oh, okay.
And I know that because I've seen it. So this one 19-inch cutting deck, so a little bit smaller.
Yeah.
10-inch rear tires, but it is it's the most affordable at $320.
Dang, that's not
at
bad
Walmart.
at all. Yeah. And that's the top rated.
That is the best electric for small yards.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So if you don't want to spend any gas money,
Yeah.
right? You don't want to change oil, any of that crap.
Yeah.
Right. That's
Dang.
Then the highest quality, the last one, highest quality electric is the Toro Recycler 60-volt cordless lawnmower. So an electric comes in at the highest quality.
That surprises me a little bit.
Here's what I think is 21-inch cutting deck. The best cut time per amp hour, which some of that I just don't understand.
Sure.
Here's what I thought was super interesting. You can store this vertically. It doesn't have
hang
to,
it up, down.
You can hang
straighten,
it up and down. Yes.
like on a bike rack or something. Almost.
Yep.
Well, if it's electric, I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, why not?
There's no
You're not
there's
mixing
no
any
liquids in
gas
there
or
at all.
oil or
That's
So-
awesome.
Yeah.
So you pop the handle down, hang it up on your wall, and it stores vertically.
That's nice.
Because in wintertime at my house, I have to undo the screws and fold the thing in half so I can fit it next to my snowblower so I can get that out. And
Pain in the ass.
boy, you know what? And I don't know, maybe this is me. It probably is me. My parents got divorced when I was like 6 or 7, right? And I didn't see my dad a whole lot. So I'm not one of those dudes. Like, I'm not a car guy because we never did that. But somehow I became a man when I got a yard.
Yeah.
Like, this is what you're talking about, I'm like, oh yeah, 21 inches is just about right. Like, my John
Yeah.
Deere was a little bigger, and I really like that. My Honda's a little smaller. So like somehow I got to be a man through the mowing of the grass and the scooping of the snow.
There's something about it's your domain.
And you want it to look nice.
Yes.
I do, at least. And like, I'm one of those guys like, oh, we got families coming over for lunch today. I better mow that morning.
Mow.
Gotta look good.
Yep. Get that nice, clean, kind of velvet look to your yard.
all the same. Yeah,
Yep.
I'm overly proud of my yard.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is. I guess it's just a thing.
It happens.
Just being a homeowner, I guess. I don't
Yeah.
know.
It's all the rage on TikTok right now. It's the line from Lion King, right? It is time. And he gets the New Balance shoes out, and and he goes out and he mows his yard for the first time because it's spring.
I'm way more into like the gardening than I am the actual
mowing.
mowing and stuff. Yeah.
So what
I dread
brands do you
mowing,
have
yeah.
right now? What's your guys' mowers?
Shoot, I couldn't tell you.
I'm a John Deere guy.
I can tell you.
Yeah.
Mine's red.
When we moved to the new house that has 2 acres, I bought a big old
Tractor.
riding John
Yeah.
Deere. Here's the sad part of all of this. My wife figured out she likes to do it too. So now she's stolen.
So she's the mower?
She steals my joy.
Yeah.
She puts her headphones on. She mows the
yeah.
whole thing. So I have to trim.
I mean, there are mowing video games.
yes.
So there is something to
Yeah.
that. It is very calming. The lines, making sure all that's lined up, and like it's very, I don't know, it's good for my anxiety or something because I can control it. So I guess that's how that works out. My wife, one time, her parents lived on an acreage, and her dad, my father-in-law, had planted like 100 and some little pine trees, right,
Okay.
to make like a windbreak and a barrier around the property. And both of her and her sister who works here, Kelly, were kind of in charge of a lot of the mowing and yard work stuff because they were never home.
Yep.
And my wife mowed over probably 80 of the trees one time and called her dad and was like, I mowed over the evergreen trees.
Hundreds of
And it was
dollars.
Like, yeah, it was like $1,000.
Yes.
So
man.
that wasn't great.
So she doesn't mow anymore.
No.
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 Troy built. That's mine.
Troy built.
Troy built.
Troy built.
Okay. Yeah. What's your mower?
It's a Honda right now.
Okay.
I had my first house. I bought a John Deere and did the stuff on the box, told you how to, put the oil in and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I got it at Lowe's and ran it once and then it died.
Really?
And I took it back and they're like, oh yeah, what it says to put in oil, that's actually not right. You shouldn't put that much in there, but it's on the box or whatever, like the instructions. So they gave me another one.
Okay.
And I didn't fill it as much, and it lasted me like almost 10 years.
Wow.
I think it was great. It was fat, wide, 24-inch, I think.
Whoa.
So I was doing between the sidewalk and the street in 2 passes. It
Yeah.
was great. And then I got a new one when I moved to my current house. That one was finally, I couldn't fix it anymore. Got a Honda, and I've mowed once this year so far.
Yeah.
Pull started first time, started up over the winter.
Nice.
What more can you ask for?
With old gas in there too? Did you leave old gas?
From November.
Perfect.
I almost had just a tiny little bit. I ran it almost all the way out right before I put it away.
Yep.
And it started right up.
Nice.
Great.
All right, TripAdvisor.
To Deschutes. To Bend, Oregon.
To Deschutes. 4.5 out of 5 on 1,656 reviews. Kelsey 708. He's Kelsey L 708 says
Kelsey, not grammar.
No,
Okay.
no. Kelsey L
Kelsey
says Deschutes ? De shit. And not like de shit
Like good?
Like this is like
Oh,
the good
it's bad.
No, it's bad.
Oh, no.
It's always bad.
Oh, yeah, in this segment it is. Yeah.
Always. Came here with friends. Our server in the Himalayan shirt was great. Stop. What is a Himalayan shirt? Does he mean Hawaiian shirt?
I don't know. Himalayan shirt?
What's a
Maybe
Himalayan
it's
shirt?
pink?
Fuzzy?
Maybe.
Pink and salty?
I don't know.
I don't know. That's a good question.
That's what drew me to this in the first
Oh, and you're
place
like,
was
oh,
right
Himalayan shirt. Okay.
Yeah.
I want more.
Unreasonable server after and left because unnecessary bullshit from other staff. I did not just stumble through that. That's exactly
That's how it's
what
written,
it
huh?
says. Yes.
Okay.
If you want a great time with friends, I wouldn't recommend.
Oh, I
There you
wouldn't
go.
recommend.
It's the shit.
I'll tell you what, people with English degrees never write reviews. Seems like.
Wow.
Does shit.
Oh no.
Sounds like he was lit up when he wrote that.
Probably.
Or
I
maybe
don't know.
not. Stone sober.
He only had 2 reviews.
And they're
this
both
one
bad?
and another one that was bad too. Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah.
Sorry about
Yeah.
that, buddy.
So, Untapped, 367,600 check-ins. 367,600 check-ins on Deschutes Fresh Squeezed IPA. Where do you think we land?
371.
I was going to say 375, but I'll go 376.
391.
Ooh,
That's
high.
good. I
Dude,
mean,
this
it's
is-
really good.
This is a standard.
Yeah.
This is a reason why you can get this virtually
Yeah.
anywhere you go. You got an IPA on? Yeah, I got Fresh Squeezed.
Yeah, we got fresh
There you go.
squeezed.
Yep, exactly.
I'll take it.
Yeah, if it's not local, I guarantee this is probably one that they have there. And give it a try because if you don't like the hop bitterness at the end, there's just a little bit of it.
Yeah.
Not a ton, but there's a little bit of it. And
Yeah.
if you're eating food, especially like chicken wings, it just
Oh,
it
pairs
works that
with it so
yeah,
good,
it just
yeah.
works that bitterness right out.
It does have that fruity, juicy thing. It was kind of
very
like
juicy.
the beginning of that beer, that craze, and they're the godfather of that, I think.
And the logo with the pressing the hops with the juice coming out of
Yep.
it is iconic in the beer industry, I think.
I mean, it's so much that they've used it on all the other IPA kind of beers they have. They've just changed it just a little bit here and there, but yeah,
Yep.
I like it.
All right, next week, get on a plane with us. We're going to New Orleans.
We're going down Cajun country, y'all.
Yeah.
Oh, I cannot wait.
And then, do we have one more after that?
We do.
Oh.
Wisconsin. We're heading to Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, we're going to get in our canoe and get to Wisconsin.
Okay, all right. We probably should have gone north from Kansas City to do that first, but,
Dude, we're on a road trip. We
what
don't
are you gonna
care.
do?
We got a whole
So,
month.
Yeah.
Yeah, next week, one that you can get pretty much anywhere now. Before you couldn't, and now you pretty much can.
Yeah.
Yeah, so until then, we're not going anywhere for a while.
Let's have another beer.
Thank you for listening to A Beer with Atlas. Special thanks to our brand team for producing the show. Each episode of A Beer with Atlas is powered by Atlas MedStaff, an industry leader in travel healthcare staffing.